By and large, I enjoyed my flights on Icelandair, especially this one we're going to look at today, on one of their 767s to New York. The service and food was fantastic, and the airport in Reykjavik is simple to navigate and has a gorgeous lounge. So, why then will I probably never fly them again in business class? I'll explain. By the way, if you're ever curious about how much I paid for this flight, or the equipment that I use on a daily basis when traveling and creating, all that can be found in the description below. Let me welcome any of you that might be new to the channel. My name is Kevin. I'm here to give you a self-funded and honest look at some of the best, most unique, or simply most popular airlines and hotels in the world, which I've been bringing to you full-time for going on 5 years. I'd love for you to know more about how I do things on the channel, so simply scan the QR code or click on one of the hundreds of videos on the channel. Let's get into the trip report. Welcome to a beautiful little airport. So little that once you get through transit security, there are signs everywhere telling you, hey, every gate is less than 5 minutes away. Take some time to shop. Very clever on them. The D gates, where all of the North American flights depart from, are for non-shaken flights. But the Saga Business Class lounge is shared between the two parts of the airport. So before you get to the immigration checkpoint, just opposite of that checkpoint actually, make sure you don't miss it. Unfortunately, I had a really short layover, so I didn't spend much time in the Saga Lounge, but I wish I did. I present to you Exhibit A of why I think Icelandair could be so much more. This lounge felt like a cross between many lounges that I've seen in Nordic countries, but with a bit of a fireside mountain lodge vibe thrown in, and just elevated over most of the others in the region. There were a wide variety of seating areas, including many private nooks and a large dining area for the food and drinks on offer. In Icelandair's most recent era, that is, after the 2010 volcano disruptions, they've been on a steady upwards climb. Along the way, they almost absorbed WOW Air, but backed out of that after shareholders weren't on board. WOW Air went under, and some years later, Play, a new ultra-low-cost carrier, came onto the scene doing the very thing that WOW was attempting to do: connect Europe and North America for as cheap as physically possible. In terms of value, Icelandair isn't too far behind. My flights to New York from Paris were around $1,200, and they are one of the most consistent carriers out there for business class transatlantic fares. As sure as I am that the sun will rise tomorrow, I know Icelandair will always be the second cheapest option to cross the Atlantic in business class, after Azores Airlines. Recently, the most significant things that have happened for Icelandair, besides continuing to expand their network, were overhauling their branding and livery and introducing their new Airbus A321s to the fleet, which the aviation world took a collective sigh over when they realized that they weren't going to introduce lie-flat seating, even on those long-range birds. As for their branding and livery, it was completely overhauled in 2022, with billboard titles and 5 new tail colors, which represent different aspects of life in Iceland. Light blue for the northern lights, magenta for the creativity of Icelanders and the sunrise, golden yellow for the sun's reflection off of the land, crisp blue for the summer sky, and green for the resilience of nature on the island. I love the entire package, and I would enter that as Exhibit B. Their branding and ground experience is one of a chic boutique regional carrier, not one that used to be known as Backpackers Express. Icelandair has multiple flights to New York per day. In fact, there was a flight to Newark scheduled to depart at exactly the same time as us. I chose the JFK flight simply because it was to be operated by a 767. I headed to the gate, which turned out to be a bus gate. Did I mention we were in Iceland? It's cold. I was dressed for New York and Paris, which weren't cold, so this was a refreshing ride. If you're enjoying the video and would like to support the channel, there are many ways that you could do so. A quick like on the video and subscribe helps videos with the algorithm. You could join my YouTube channel memberships to get early access to some videos and access to all of my community posts. Or you could check out my Patreon, where I post the most and can help you out with any travel-related questions. Whatever you do, thanks for doing it. Once I saw that gorgeous livery against the blue sky with the afternoon light though, I was warmed right up. At least, my soul was. My arms were freezing. And here we are again, in the land of grey on grey. These are the same seats as my last flight. A bit difficult to film with everyone boarding through the front door. They're laid out in a unique 2-1-2 configuration. Solo travelers who don't like looking at beautiful things out the windows, rejoice. From the moment that I stepped on board, things were very different as far as the crew were concerned. They were very energetic. Maybe because they were wearing parkas. And they were the definition of what I presume Icelandic hospitality is meant to be. Pre-departure drinks, and here's a first, macarons were passed out, and we already had our bottles of Icelandic water at the seat. I never really understood why Play chose such a saturated fire engine red until I saw it against this very grey sky. You're definitely going to notice them. For the comforts on board, we had the same style pillow, a bit lumpy, a bit floppy, altogether fine. This time there was also a nice quality blanket, which was good to have in the very cool cabin. Those delicious mystery crackers were served again, alongside drinks of your choice, and I again started on my odyssey of gin. I love the hefty little bottles, but unless you really like gin, give this one a pass. This was intense. Here's the full menu for the flight. We had the same drinks menu as last time, plus a page insert for the food on board. The starter is steamed scallops with barley, dill oil, and horseradish aioli. I'm usually not a fan of chilled scallops, but these were delicious, especially that crumble on top. The main was even better though. There was a choice of warm pan-fried salmon with herb butter, lobster barley, roasted carrots and asparagus. As someone who doesn't like salmon, that still sounds really good. Or what I chose, the cold dish of slow-cooked beef fillet on a salad of celeriac, glazed carrots, fried cherry tomatoes, and barbecue sauce. I feel like the barbecue sauce, which was like bog standard craft BBQ sauce, should not have been anywhere near this plate, but otherwise the beef was incredibly tender and it was thoroughly a satisfying dish. Alongside, we had a selection of bread with whipped butter and Icelandic black lava salt, as well as a berry cheesecake. This meal overall, at a 9.6 out of 10, is Exhibit 3, or C, I forget. The service on board, the food and drink selection, the serveware, it was all really elevated, and frankly, better than I've had on plenty of big carriers across the Atlantic. As we pass over some drop-dead gorgeous views of Greenland, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine stepping on board in business class, at least on the Iceland to North America flights, and being greeted with a reasonable lie-flat business class product. I'm not even saying it needs to be all aisle access. You pair that up with their new branding, their fantastic soft product, and great ground experience, and we can even throw in an alliance membership, and they would then be a transatlantic force to be reckoned with. The thing is, they're often the cheapest, but not always. I recently bought a round-trip Madrid to New York ticket on a combination of American and British Airways for $2,000, less than this flight each way. I love Icelandair's products, but definitely not enough to pass up on all-aisle access, for potentially less money. I wanted to do the magic trick just one more time. For you, of course. I didn't need it. The in-flight entertainment on board was again very bright and clear and had a wide variety, but simply too many ads. They did have really high quality headphones though. The amenity kit I loved, and I'm sorry, I know I've made like 48 comparisons in this video already, but I just need to say. In my Virgin Atlantic video, I mentioned that their eco-friendly amenity kits don't need to be cheap-feeling and ugly by default. Icelandair's is the perfect example of that. Last up were the classic 767 lavatories, which were in great condition and clean throughout. So as we approach Kennedy, let me just say clearly, I'm not dragging Icelandair. Everything I'm saying is because I actually do really like them. But I simply think that they could just do a bit more, and for a country that relies on its flag carrier to raise awareness about tourism, being really good is really helpful. Hell, how many people would be able to point to Doha on a map if Qatar Airways wasn't what it is today? I'm gonna bring them up to a 6. Give me literally any lie flat seat, and it would be a 7 or 8. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time from the Sindhorn Midtown in Bangkok. As always, thanks for watching until the end.